Hey, welcome to the Porch Bois podcast. I am, of course, your amazingly talented and awesome and very intelligent host, John, alongside these other two retards, Seawall and Midget. How are you boys doing?
Well, I'm sorry, I was just tuning into our own show this evening, bringing up chat
Wow.
and whatnot.
Why should anyone else watch our show when you won't even watch our show? When one of the
I,
hosts won't even watch our show? How dare you?
why would I?
You have no choice. You're on it. You
It's
must watch
true. I really
every
feel that way.
single episode.
That's right. Every single episode, it's like Sisyphean.
Well, if it sucks, it's a third your fault. So you're
I'll
not
try
blameless
better.
here.
That's right. I am a part of the problem, aren't I?
Definitely. Ask any leftist, of which I hear we're going to see several tonight.
Oh yeah, several
That'll be
leftist
fun.
memes. Several leftist memes.
Several.
Don't
I
worry,
will
no
be
wall or
sure.
text. No wall or
I will
text.
be sure to completely disregard their opinions.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So what's new, boys? What are we doing since last week? Which was a lot of fun, by the way. Last episode was big time fun.
Yeah, I was almost there the whole time.
Almost, dude, until you weren't.
Well, my internet took a shit once
Hmm.
again, so
I don't know, dude. You're like a big fan of the Irish goodbye when you're drunk. You just kind of like disappeared. No one knows where you went. And then it's
that's
like, oh,
right.
he's gone.
Then you get a call from the local constable to pick him up from the jail.
Right.
Apparently, he was found with a duck, no shirt, a tire iron, and one left shoe that doesn't fit him.
It wasn't his shoe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cute. So yeah, what you guys
Uh,
been up to for the last week? Anything
I
new? Anything exciting? Anything fun?
Mainly work. I've started finally installing the sound deadening foam in my office.
Wow, maybe now we'll have a quality show.
Perhaps we could.
Might help with my audio quality a little bit.
I'm not sure if we're on the fidelity, the level of fidelity where minor
What are you worried
differences
about?
that would be noticeable.
To be honest, it's mainly for me just to kill the echo in this room.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, furniture helps.
I do have furniture in here. I'm basically at max capacity.
Oh, and you
I'm also
guys.
planning on getting a nice tapestry for the wall as well. Heavy
Oh,
cloth.
all right. Maybe
Tapestry.
lightning bolts on it.
I was thinking just kind of generic geometrical, just because it kind of goes with everything.
Maybe like an airbrush wizard.
Nah, nothing like
Just
that.
in front of a lightning backed tower and like he's
A blacklight tapestry.
That's right. There
No.
you go.
I'm thinking just simple geometric shapes. Keep it simple, stupid.
Sure.
Wow, that was
See, here
rude.
here I am imagining his bedroom is like a mattress. Like and
No,
like
dude. No,
a desk.
Seawell's too like I don't know, not minimalist. I wouldn't say the word. No, because that's not right. No, he's like, I guess proper. He gets proper furniture and like proper house stuff,
Yeah.
as though he was like a real adult or some shit. It's really weird. It's bizarre. I don't get it either.
The term you're looking for is I'm fairly Spartan with my decorative styles.
Sure.
Right, like I said, a bare mattress with a sheet on it, and across from that a desk, and like some
Not
candies
quite
in the
that.
oven at all
Not
times,
quite
and
that
like
Spartan.
The air fryers on the desk next to like the L-shaped desk and the air fryers right there with loaded
that's
attendees
right, there
ready
you
to
go, right
ready for at a
there.
moment's notice.
Uh, I actually much prefer
Nothing
having
else.
specialized rooms. I much prefer
Like a
specialized
big
rooms.
TV. That's it.
Uh,
Living like a man.
Like what was that? Dragon Lord from Germany. This is like
oh
house.
God, yeah, his
Whole
house got
house was
demolished recently,
trash
didn't
except
it?
for one room that he lived in.
Yeah, yeah, and didn't
Oh
he?
man,
Didn't his place get demolished recently?
yeah.
An
I mean,
end
what are
of
they
an
gonna do
era.
with it? What are they gonna
Yeah,
clean it up? Like you gotta demolish it. There's nothing you can do.
the end of an
Well, yeah,
era.
isn't he in jail right now?
I believe so. I saw conflicting reports, but I don't know. I mean, it was on Twitter, so who the fuck knows?
Yeah, y'all know you trust Twitter.
I mean, it's
Anything.
more reliable than anything these days, pretty much.
Nah, not as reliable as
anything.
your old poll.
Well,
You
Poll's
know,
not very reliable either, to be honest.
it's
Like,
reliable in that it's unreliable. If you have the
Right.
means by which to sieve the shit,
Right.
you'll find some pretty good shit in there. I mean,
Amongst the other shit.
yeah, right. You have to be able to discern.
You'll find the chunks of corn
That's right.
in the turd soup.
Yep. Be sure to duck. The 5 Ds of browsing poll.
Good.
Right?
Was it dip, dive, dodge, and or no, dive, dodge, and what? Dodge was like 1 in 5.
Dodge,
Right?
duck, dip, dive, and dodge.
That's right. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah.
And dodge twice because it's important, damn it.
It's important. It was very important.
I miss the old poll.
I miss the old B, man. Back before B was just like
B
porn.
was used to. It was never, but it was at one point good.
Right? No, of course it was never good, but it was better.
It was better, yeah. It was better, like what? God damn, like 12, 15 years ago now.
Oh, easily.
Well, poll was pretty solid about 8 years back, pre Gamergate. Then the whole admin staff basically had a shit over Gamergate.
Well, there you go. And then Moot sold the platform to Hiroshi Moot.
That's right. That's right.
He hired tranny moderators, and it got to be a mess. And so they split. They split off, like, I'm talking 4chan in general, split because, MLP needed its own fucking board for all of their bullshit.
Of course.
And, fucking...
Well, at least that quarantined it.
And LGBT popped up, and it's, like, genuinely a community of these fucking retards.
Well, I mean,
didn't they already have Tumblr?
All of 4chan is a community of retards, so...
Right. I mean, it's a genuine community of, like, friends, like, supporting each other and stuff.
Right.
Kindly to trolling and stuff. It's all genuine.
They don't just call each other faggots and stuff.
No, like, you can go there and get your mind fucking blown by, like, the sort of things that these people count as normal. Just in everyday conversation. And of course, like every other community, it has its own culture. But yes, the old days of B. I was around for some of them later.
I'm sure there's a pop-up, unlisted, potentially even deep web chan out there that has the old spirit of B floating around in it.
IRC, dude. IRC is still around.
Changed, times have changed. Culture has changed. It has evolved.
War never changes.
War changes occasionally.
Well, the weapons get better, but
yeah, tactics change a bit.
Right,
but it's still war.
Well, I mean, actually, hang on, because war also does change. War definitely
the modality of war, you must acknowledge, has changed.
Absolutely, it used to be over like land.
That right now, Russia is kicking it old school. Like right now, Russia is kicking it old school. Like they're making it kinetic. No, I'm not talking about what it's used to be over land. Now, of course, it's over like control of resources, but resources
nowadays
are only
it's
controlled by people's minds. Right? Exactly. So if you control people's minds, they'll be willing to vote their resources to you. Right? And so if you engineer the conditions under which they vote away all of their, material wealth and rights and responsibilities, then, Bob's your uncle. And then suddenly your neighbor takes, in this war of minds, starts firing actual bullets, bombs, and missiles. holy fuck. Turns out war doesn't change a whole lot, does it?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and, so far, I mean, the Russians aren't exactly making much headway as they were hoping, but they're still making ground.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in the south. People are ignoring the southern front almost entirely.
That's copium.
Yeah, exactly. They're talking purely about what's going on around Kiev. The problem is, last map I saw, Kiev's almost encircled.
Well, from last report I saw, before we, take it into the memes, last report I saw was that, there was a division being encircled outside of Kiev after some kind of fucking counter-offensive. I'm not sure what position the Ukrainian government is in to muster counteroffensives, but that was the report that I was seeing today.
I was seeing that too,
yeah. I mean, right now, every day Zelensky doesn't capitulate means that the conditions for surrender are going to be far worse for him.
Well, it's costly to Russia every day. So
for sure, but I think the reason I don't think he ever intended to. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's not a complete thought, but what might be happening is he's constantly putting out these peace terms, right? Then now, as he's going to start losing ground, he's giving the Ukrainian and the or NATO backed kind of, I don't want to say forces because obviously it's mostly Ukraine, but then we're like, hey, we're doing stuff too, guys.
Reddit enforcements.
Oh god, and they keep getting their locations leaked, and they keep getting hit with munitions.
Right. But no, so I think that now that Putin's going to start losing ground here, and then it's given them kind of a they're like, okay, now we can accept your terms because we've gotten some of this land back, and it makes it easier for the NATO forces to say, okay, well, fine, you can keep the rest of this, but no more. And so he's already got the land that he wanted. He just went further in order to cede some back for negotiation.
Obviously, he doesn't want to occupy all of this territory.
No way, he couldn't do it.
I mean, he could. I mean, theoretically, Russia could take eastern Ukraine because what would likely happen is once the bullets stop firing, most of eastern Ukrainians would just move to the West Ukraine.
Right, no, that's what I'm talking about, though, is that land that he wants, that he actually wants, he's going to negotiate for and keep.
Right, what? Fuck off. They can fuck off. Yeah. Bye. Go with your take your sovereign debt with you. Be sure, you take all of your, African migrants too, and your sovereign debt and all your global homo culture, and sit over there in Western Ukraine.
Where you'll never be accepted in NATO because you're strategically useless.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And you'll just be an impoverished country because the EU won't take you either.
I'm reading the chat, you guys.
Oh, apparently Katie Zed account got suspended again.
I hope we can still view the memes that we have for tonight from the Katie Zed event.
Shit, god damn, we've got a pile of them.
Yeah, that's like half our memes.
15%. We got a lot of memes.
Protest. Do it, Quest. Quit and protest. But come join us. Come be the fourth member of the Porch Boys. Quit your job and just put everything into us. We'll be great, I swear.
I cannot in good conscience let my co-host say that. That is a bad idea. We get an average of 8 viewers once a week.
Until Quest joins. He's going to bring us a bunch of money. We're going to do some marketing. It'll be
fine. John, the amount of money we're going to need for marketing is in the millions.
But Quest does that for a living, so as long as he doesn't charge us labor. He'll be all right.
Yeah. So. Got it. Her meme account is still good, so we're fine. I'm guessing that's her personal account that just gets up to trouble and no good.
Gotcha. Tisk.
So I guess it's a good enough transition to memes for the night, though.
Quite.
We're on our way.
So we're the first leftist meme of the night.
Right.
We need a soy voice for this one.
Dragging the church into the future is my new fave. I saw it in a dream and it had to be drawn. interesting to me that it's a marginalized who put pressure on the church to change. It wouldn't otherwise. Do you love it too? The original and Prince available. Time to change. Yeah, because all of history is progress in one direction, right?
Right.
And then the Upstate Federalist had a pretty good take on this. The amusing thing here is that the art can't lie, and the look of horror and sadness on the church's face as it's being physically abused and dragged off to execution by the rainbow sheep accurately represents what's happening, which is most likely not what the artist intended. This literally, it can be used as, if you just remove past, future, you can basically declare this pro-church propaganda.
Yeah, I mean, it's the sheep that have, one has a rainbow flag and one has a trans flag, and they're dragging the church.
And also, Left, aren't you the one saying, well, if you got banned from Twitter, why don't you make your own Twitter? Well, guys, why don't you make your own churches? We're not stopping you.
Do we? I need to keep that handy. Little, I might actually have it. Little, it's like a flow chart.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not the one I'm looking for. It's like a flow chart of like, we demand that you let us into your spaces due to inclusivity.
Well, I mean, I know that we're tired of the whole, comparing things to fiction, but what was it? Not J.K. Rowling, Tolkien. Mm-hmm. Tolkien basically said evil cannot create anything; it can only corrupt what already exists.
Right. Yeah.
This is it. They know they can't create their own churches because they know they'd be failures.
Right.
So they're trying to corrupt churches. But the thing is, the flocks of these churches, they'll go to another church or they'll found a new church.
Because they're productive.
Exactly.
And they'll be corrupted.
But
like,
then
that's kind of like, that's the whole point, right?
Well, then that church is shut down. They make a new one. The thing is, the flock keeps moving.
Cycle, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah. It's never any cycle.
So we could, propose a final solution to this cycle. Some have tried in the past to end this cycle once and for all, with a fine old solution.
Do I need to get out my train conductor's uniform?
Maybe we should move on.
Well, here's the next meme of the day.
When you explain that every individual has the right to live their life however they want, as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else. Here we have Democrats shitting their pants, Republicans trying to figure it out. It makes no sense. And then you have the Goblin.
Yeah.
Well, it would if you were smarter.
Yes, I don't see how this is a leftist meme, though. It's like, this is exactly what I would say.
Well, the problem is the left refuses to leave people alone. They claim they do, but they don't, for one.
That's definitely true, but, I mean...
And two, if you look at the more libertarian wing of the Republican Party, they're like, look, do what you want in your own home, just leave me the fuck alone.
Right, but historically, Republicans have been very, like, especially in the past, 30 years, or more than that, have been very, very pro-war. Very pro, I'm going to send your son to go die so that my stocks will go up. Like, they're doing the same shit. Both sides are doing the same shit. Like,
yeah, but which voting base is the truly anti-war one and actually voting for anti-war candidates now?
Now, yes. Yeah. Now, that's true. The big switch has actually happened. They're now on opposite sides of war.
No. The left was always pro-war. Because the thing is, the left, they claim they were pro-war to get updoots, basically. But they were always pro-war. I mean, look at the candidates they voted in.
Updoots didn't exist 30 years ago, Seawall.
Yeah, dude. When were updoots invented? I see furiously Googles.
No.
Let's move on because this is retarded and misguided and wrong.
Here's a really good one, though.
Oh, yeah, this is fucking retarded, too.
I guess I'll be the MAGA one because I am the MAGA guy here. We need a retarded anarchist leftist.
Oh, I wouldn't know where to find one.
John, you're retarded and an anarchist. You'll do.
All right, I guess 2 out of 3 is not bad.
Are you an anarchist?
Yep.
What are your thoughts on vax mandates?
I support it.
Why?
Because I am not a fucking idiot. It's called being a decent fucking human. So get the vaccine, you anti-vaxxer Nazi bigot. Yeah.
Wow, you really got into character.
Yeah, well, I mean,
And a nice little response to this one.
Right, which is retarded because anarchists don't say that. So I don't know.
No true Scotsman.
Well,
you're entering the no true Scotsman fallacy.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. That's the same thing as saying like, "Oh, I'm a Christian, but I'm not so sure about that Jesus fella." Like at some point, you gotta
right.
You gotta
or I'm a woman, but I was not born with XX chromosomes.
Yes, Katie Zed. I am part of what would be known as the MAGA movement. I'm somebody that is a nationalist, believes that the government should focus on, doing things it can to make the nation stronger and better for its people.
Well, let's MAGA then, shall we? Make Israel great again. Let's keep voting.
Israel can go fuck itself.
I mean, that's not part of the Trump agenda.
Unfortunately, to get to the we don't care about Israel, we got to go through the Trump people first. It's the boiling the frog method.
Oh man, that's funny.
It's an incrementalism thing.
Yeah, incrementally taking more and more territory in the Gaza Strip.
Yeah.
And the West Bank.
I mean, maybe the Palestinians should learn not to fire rockets at them.
Maybe they should not learn to live
victim blaming, right? That's right.
No, look, I am no fan of that situation. I hate both sides. But one side has consistently broken the fucking ceasefires, and it's always goddamn Gaza Strip.
Well,
really?
Ceasefires. Yeah. Who owns the ceasefires, bro?
Who's breaking the law when they build settlements in this land when they demolish houses on land that they claim? What about the houses that they move into that are already there and exist with people in them that are not Jewish?
Who are just, in fact, incredibly not Jewish.
Does it need to be reminded that Israel was once much smaller and that only gained ground because the Palestinians attacked?
Wow, like incrementalism, right? They're incrementally
and they keep fucking attacking, and Israel keeps taking fucking bites out of it because the Palestinians keep losing.
Oh my god!
Wow, it's almost as though they cry in pain as they're stricken.
They strike you, yeah. It's a very leftist kind of strategy there. Let me cry the victim and then take more and more every time.
Right.
Yes, they're the victim for being immediately attacked when they were gifted land from at the time rightful owners of that land.
Who was that?
The British Empire. They owned that fucking territory.
Who was that? The Rothschilds?
Yeah.
No, the Palestinian territories were owned by the British Empire at the time.
Who was owned by the Rothschilds?
Yeah.
The Jews moved in, formed Israel. Next day, every nation around them declared war on them, and they fucking lost.
The Zionist Congress the World Zionist Congress met yearly from the turn of the century to 1930. And they were all about, and they had a lot of influence on members of the tribe, many of whom were prominent and owned debts of many world empires, who had, interesting bits of soil in this land that they were promised by the God in the book that they wrote back in the day. And so their book says...
Susan hears us.
Yeah, let's move on.
Their book says it was theirs.
Right.
And she said... All right, so another leftist meme.
Yeah, this one's
Republican logic. I don't see a problem here. Guns are a God-given right. Anything that child needs are guns.
Based.
Right, but unironically?
Yeah.
Holy shit, she's got a book. She might learn about all the nasty shit we did. Burn it. Burn it now.
So how was this? So firstly, who did what? Like lasty shit we did. Who's we, first of all? Secondly, how are these even like conflicting?
Oh yeah, I mean the left. I mean the left regularly tries to get a books burned these days.
Well, I'm not even talking about that. I mean, hypocrisy is a feature, not a bug. But it's also useless to point out.
Even hypocritical, is it? I mean, you're right. This isn't violating any particular principle. Yeah. One juxtaposed to the other makes
the only thing the modern Republicans have really talked about in schools is saying, look, if you're gonna have books in the library, make sure they're age appropriate. Yeah, that's the literal only requirement they've put on there.
Yeah, no, obviously it's taken way out of blown way out of proportion, of course. But like, the point is but this is obviously
this is about CRT too. This is about stupid CRT as well. But he's trying to point out that there are no principles there is no common principle to these two situations to violate and show hypocrisy. They are non sequitur.
Right, you could actually conceivably agree with both of these and be consistent.
That's right.
Well, also the book that they're pointing out is To Kill a Mockingbird, which the left was the one that tried to get that book banned. Last I checked.
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, it's fine with that. Again, it's fine when they do it, right? So, imagine if roles were reversed as you're being led onto the boxcars, It doesn't really matter.
Now, if you listen to what the author had to say about that book at the time and what it was meant to do, it was subversive.
I don't know, dude. I kind of wanted to kill John Lennon after, but
I know. No, that was Huckleberry Finn, I think.
Right. That was Catcher in the Rye.
Oh, Catcher in the Rye.
I got my book wrong.
Yeah.
I knew it was some whatever. I fucked it up. Edit that out.
Well, also the thing is, I mean, I wouldn't really call it subversive. The Kill a Mockingbird, it was merely showing injustice, a legitimate injustice we all agree to.
Yeah, I never read it, to be honest.
Never had to. One of the big subplot in the book is about a black man being falsely accused of rape.
J. Edgar's trying to get my goat.
Yeah. And
the whole thing's pretty contrived, to be honest.
Yeah.
The whole thing is pretty contrived.
Yeah, but look, it is trying to point out an injustice.
Though.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, whatever. Yeah, I don't think any books should be banned. So just, that's fine.
I understand the concept of not having certain books in an elementary school library, though.
Right, that's not the same as banning a book.
Oh, no,
right?
no. If you want to buy that book personally, be my guest. I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah.
You want to own the Satanic Bible? Be my guest. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't give a shit.
Just don't be a teacher and demand it be put in the school library. Just like I asked the Bible, don't be put in the school library.
Right.
So, moving along.
Yeah, no, John points out a good point that these are not at all even related. This is ridiculous and dumb.
Okay.
Ridiculous and dumb.
Texas GOP.
Is it 55? I thought it was 50. I don't know. I've seen 50, 52, 55.
I think we have updated stats.
Yeah. Oh. It varies ever so slightly year to year.
Right, year to year. I think last year was higher than the previous.
Yeah. So some years is a bit lower.
Buildings burned and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're breaking records, bro. We's the majority now. Texas GOP makes it impossible to get abortions within the state. Previously, 1 in 3 Texan women could get an abortion in their lifetime, including many Republicans.
I wonder how they massage those stats to get that number, because that is unusually high.
That is huge. That's 33%.
Yeah, which is way above any averages I've ever seen.
That's not. Yeah, that's no.
I'm thinking what they're pointing towards is they are taking all of the abortions and averaging them out per woman and somehow getting it to 1 in 3.
I guess there's one person that has more than one abortion. I don't know.
There are women that get multiple abortions in their lifetime.
I know there are. Yeah. But I mean, still, that's still going to be really high.
Yeah. So I'm thinking that they
Can
massage the
point
stats.
Out that the depicted situation is actually a tragedy against mankind anyway. So
yeah,
of course, yeah.
Not only that, but there are multiple Republicans in Texas that I can't remember the name of the state, but I think a Katie Zed meme might bring it up later. But there's a state that's actually saying that no, if you go to another state to get an abortion, you're still going to jail once you get back. And there are legislators in Texas that are talking about making the same law.
Margaret Sanger, it would see this and roll in her grave.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, moving along. Invades Cuba. Imperialism does invade Cuba. Losers.
That, for those to whom it is not immediately obvious, he's trying to green text the fucking implications of this shitty meme.
Yeah.
Right.
The Mutt says, the Amera Mutt says, stupid China can't even control a weak little island on their doorstep. And then sees like Chad, fucking.
He's got the McDonald's logo and the Star of David on his shirt.
That's right, because he's the Amera Mutt.
Is this like accidentally based? I don't know.
No, it's its own meme, the Amera Mutt.
I suppose. Okay.
Well, I mean, technically there actually is a difference. If the USA really wanted to, Cuba would be gone in a second. If we actually used our full military might. Yeah.
That's about power projection. Yeah.
Whereas China, even with their full military might, still probably going to basically trip at the first hurdle of trying to take Taiwan.
Well, I mean, China's military is kind of garbage, so...
Well, yeah.
It's kind of made of garbage.
Exactly.
Well, that too, yeah. It literally is garbage, yeah.
Exactly. So the problem is, I mean, the part of the flaws in this I also see as well is Taiwan is culturally tied to China, whereas Cuba, very little cultural connection to the U.S.
As in, very little incentive to try and fucking fuck shit up.
Yeah, the thing is, it was easier to contain Cuba than it was to take it over in the end.
Well, isn't that the fucking WEF and, sort of policy toward countries they don't like is just isolation. Just fucking financial, global, all-pervading isolation. They make all of your citizens miserable so as to inspire color revolution. Because they can't deal with you directly, so they just use these other forms of war. And when you go kinetic and you don't give a fuck about optics, they kvetch really fucking hard, don't they?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, the thing is also...
kindergartens...
You mean the ones that they've already found?
Those.
The ones that were found with weapons hiding in them?
All of those, Seawall, yes. All of those.
Which is a war crime, Ukraine?
Doesn't need to be spelled out.
There's no such thing as a war crime, dude. That's retarded. That's just
no. It's a war crime if you lose.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, I just don't like that thing you did, so I'm going to say that was bad. It's like, okay, but we're at war. Like, calm the fuck down. Like, we're both going to be fucking each other up. Like,
I mean, it's like,
there's an old saying within military thinking: anything you do to weaken your military is inherently immoral.
Of course. When it comes to military doctrine, of course.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it's like, oh, I'm sorry. Did I piss you off with that? Are you going to surrender? No? Okay, well, then the war continues.
Basically, Russia's doing the equivalent of pain compliance on Ukraine right now. You know when a cop starts twisting your arm when they're arresting you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're just going to keep jacking up the pain until you surrender.
Or until you're so PCP'd up that you can just break out of the handcuffs and fuck them up.
That's right, and eat their face.
And then you get the fucking buckshot to the face.
Buckshot.
And then the guy gets tried on hate crime charges, and Judge Jamika Molika comes down with the hammer on him and sends his white ass to jail. prison, I'm sorry, and then the feds step in and hit him with Mo charges because not under our watch, not on our watch, not this racism. Nope, can't have that.
Moving along.
God, this one, you guys. Oh my God. Please take this from me. I can't do this. I'll be here all night.
I got you.
I can also help explain this. Look, the thing is, the Republicans have been warning about all of those previous things for fucking years. You're just ignoring them because their solutions are let the market handle itself.
Well, more so than Democrats, but less so than smart people, like me. But also, what they don't realize, or I guess, of course, they don't realize they're economically illiterate. One fucking informs the other. Gas prices go up 20%. Guess what?
Everything else starts going through the roof.
Rent's going up. Healthcare is going up. Your college tuition is probably going to go up for whatever reason. I don't fucking know. Whatever reason.
It's been going up steadily for 40 years, ever since the approval of fucking student loans that can't be fucking defaulted on.
Right. It's almost like it's almost like the government did that to you, and is not the solution to fix the problem that they
almost as if, right?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
Dude,
I mean, and also one very simple bit of legislation would solve that problem so quickly: make student loans forgivable in bankruptcy.
No, dude, don't fucking do that. Fuck that.
Student loans illegal. Price has to come down. Colleges can't stay open.
You want to skyrocket inflation faster than anything. Fucking go to fucking quantitative easement of student loans, or fucking allow them to be defaulted on. Jesus Christ. Half of our economy is built on the fucking debt that the fucking banks are trading back and forth to one another.
Oh yeah, I mean it's gonna cause a crash, but it's also going to
betting against. As they trade
and then what will happen is, from the ashes, the new student loans will be like, no, I want your transcripts. I want to know what degree you're going for. You're going for underwater bachelor. You can go fuck yourself. Pay for it yourself. We're not paying for it. Oh, you're an engineer who's already got an internship. Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, hang on, because what he's kind of talking about there, I think works better. I think what Seymour's talking about there does actually kind of work better.
Yeah, if you deregulate the industry, you allow the banks to invest in people. But there's always the risk. You gotta have risk with the investment.
Of course, yeah. So what I'm saying is, like, grandfather in the loans that are done now, as of pick a date. As of that date, any loans afterwards are able to be defaulted on, but the ones that were before that are still, the old kind of loans, which would be really funny. First of all, it stops, I guess it helps ease that kind of burden, the sudden inflation burden, but it also would be hilarious to watch other people who've been like, cancel student loan debts, and then you're like, okay, for everyone from this day on, they don't have to pay their loan back necessarily. The credit's going to go to shit, whatever other
but that's
consequences there are. But
that's
what I'm saying, everyone before who was begging for that, don't get that. So they don't get it for themselves. You want it for other people. That was the whole point of you saying it. You want people to be able to have it, right? So there you go. Other people now have it, and you still have to pay your loans back. Yeah. That'd be pretty hilarious. I don't know. All the kvetching that would happen would be pretty epic.
Oh yeah, I mean, and then guys like my buddy, who I think he's pretty much paid off all of his student loan debts, or he has very little left. He's an engineer, so he's paying it off very efficiently at this point. And he's going to say, okay, that's fine with me. Yeah.
With engineering precision.
Exactly.
Probably, yeah.
I mean, not to go into too much detail about my buddy, but something that's pretty cool. He literally has designed and launched small satellites that are currently in orbit.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Yep,
no problem.
That's engineering.
Yeah. Useful skill, electronics. My old buddy.
All right, well, I'm waiting for you to make that click. Let's make that click. I'm watching you, and you haven't clicked. I'm waiting for you to click.
Last leftist meme. I love this one.
Want cheaper gas? Nationalize the oil industry. Arrest the CEOs for crimes against humanity. Build some fucking railroads and never trust them. politician.
Hold on. Isn't nationalizing something putting it under basically the direct control of politicians?
Shut up, Steve-O. You're not supposed to analyze it. You're supposed this land is your land. This land is my land.
No. I'm currently on my personal land. We could make the argument of once we get onto public roads that it's our land as the collective ownership of the citizens of the nation. Same thing with, the local park, things like that. But I've got my land, and you're going to stay the fuck off it. No, well, I mean, not you, Midge. Midge, if you ever want to come down and hang out, feel free.
All right.
Yeah.
What about, let's see here. No, see, that's the thing. Like, I had some brief thoughts. Let me just make an aside for a moment today, and I know how shocked you must be to hear that I had thoughts at all, very much less that they were brief. But with regards to, the collectivization and stuff, and how socialism is the means to the classless, hierarchy-less, moneyless society of the far inevitable future. But, socialism being the means of its achievement is the collective ownership by the workers of the means of production. And so the thing about, like, hierarchies and shit is that, and these politicians in particular, is that, like, they do serve the purpose, right? These workers are, of course, working all day. At the end of the day, they don't have time to make the important decisions, to get together, right? To get together and go through the process of deciding for themselves how they want to govern, their little communities and their factories and their output.
It's almost as if humans form hierarchies naturally.
Well, here's the thing. There's got to be someone there for whom their entire day is devoted to making these important decisions, right? And these people, they should be comfortable. They shouldn't be stressed. Their minds should be at ease so that they can make these important decisions on behalf of the workers, right? Who are busy all day working, and producing things that are their own very own labor. And this, this class is just a little more. They might, be of the chosen variety. And
midget, stop.
And so,
they were certainly chosen for that position.
That's right. They were chosen.
Yeah. Yeah, Midget, it almost sounds like the system you're describing is the Soviet system, which had serious flaws in it, including
like
massive corruption and inefficiencies, exceptionally low worker satisfaction and material wealth. While all the wealth seemed to still...
A chosen tribe of...
No. Stalin purged those in the 30s.
He did actually.
Yeah. I can't. It wasn't the Holodomor. That was the Ukrainian thing. There was a purge of the chosen people by Stalin in like the 20s and 30s.
Yep, they had to go hide in the woods and shit to be like get away from being purged.
Yeah,
it was a legit thing. Yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things. It happens.
One of the 109 countries. Like...
Yeah, right. It happens. It's just over and over.
I think they were country 73 on that list of 109.
Yeah, I mean there have been many more, and there will be. God, Allah willing, there'll be more in the future. We'll see.
Well, I've got the near perfect.
I didn't mean it. That's satire.
I've got the near perfect transitional meme for us.
Being facetious.
From our one and only Katie Z.
When you get to page 47 of a leftist meme, absolutely. That's true, Neil Bender. The trains were on time.
In Soviet Russia, hell no. You're thinking of Germany and Italy and Japan.
Yeah.
Trains were on time. You're talking about the trains were on time. That's right.
That's right, dude.
Yeah. Moving along to the next KDZ meme.
All right.
It's not enough to be feminist. We need to be anti-feminist. Ask me about the 19th.
If anyone wants to know, ask Katie Zed about the 19th. She'll be happy to tell you. She can't wait. But yes, this is definitely true. Remember, fucking, like we'll call him Yasmin, as was his Discord name.
Yeah.
Everybody, he actually gave me this actual like description of a capitalist that's up there. The guy in the suit with the big cigar, and he's like, Rah! Drinking scotch at 12:30 in the afternoon or something like.
In his office.
Right.
With his security.
Like, you gonna play ball, Senator? Like, he's he's like, okay, that's not. Yeah. Anyway.
Well, one, we shouldn't also call it capitalist because that is communist propaganda. We should use the proper term, which is a free marketist.
No, we should use the current proper term, which is low-level communism, which is crony capitalism. Yes.
Crony capitalism, yeah, crony capitalism. But like so.
Corporatism.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, of course, corporatism.
State capitalism.
It's actually government and
state capitalism. Yeah.
Like, intermingling to where they're almost indecipherable from each other.
So a proto-fascism.
Well. Ooh, a what?
A proto-fascism.
Ooh, whoa, crazy word, right?
That's a spicy word.
That's a very spicy word. It's almost like that's what's kind of going on, and it's only gotten worse, especially the past 2 years. It's gotten even worse than that.
Oh yeah,
it's gotten closer and closer towards that. That's where you're supposed to be getting away from it now. Now that the orange man's out of office,
right? And the adults are in charge.
Yeah, now that the adults are in charge. We're gonna full steam ahead to fascism. Let's do it.
Yeah, I can't wait to own nothing. I'll be so happy.
Dude, I'll be super happy.
I'll eat the bugs. I'll live in the pod.
No.
It'll be fantastic. I'll rent everything and I'll own nothing, and I'll have a Vax Pass, and I'll have my stablecoin, my USDC. I'm in there, bro. I'm a cattle slave. I'm all about it.
That's the thing is, that cattle slave, or it means like a debt cattle, is what you are. So tax cattle, debt slave, whatever you want to, put it as. Yeah, it's real, dude. It's a real thing. Like, it's super easy to get into debt. It's like they're begging for you to get into debt, which of course is selling yourself into slavery. You're tax cattle, so even if you don't have debt, you're still paying them.
Yeah, dude. I don't have a whole lot of debt, bro, but I'm paying.
Right.
Like, god damn, man.
I don't have any debt, and I'm fucking paying.
To the point that debt is money, dude. Debt is money. If you've got debt, then you've got equity.
Mm-hmm.
Then you've got leverage. You've got assets. Debt is money. Debt is money.
Scooting along.
I know, right?
We need a good soy voice.
You need to teach your kids LGBT history.
I agree. Junior, this is the story of Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah.
Oh, don't forget about the Greeks. We found out last week they're the ones who invented gayness.
That's right. They are the progenitors of gay.
I mean, you really don't want to talk about the Greeks and homosexuality because that was almost entirely intertwined with kitty diddling.
Is progenitor? Yeah. That's true though.
Well,
I think that's coincidental.
Kids, but yeah. Well, because it was part of it's part of their culture, bro. You can't judge them. God.
Boy love.
Yeah, dude.
They were boys. They were adolescent. They were pubescent. Yeah. It's ephebophilia, bro. It's not the same.
It's not the same, man. Oh my god. I'm gonna stop before I start fitting a stereotype of end caps.
You already fit it, John. You already fit it.
I swear it's jokes, guys. I swear. I swear.
Scooting along the next KDZ meme. OJ's trying to find the real killer.
Right.
And Smollett is trying to find his real attackers.
I wish them both the best of luck.
Actually, with the OJ thing, I don't think OJ did it. I think it was a son.
Oh, God. No, he absolutely 100% did it. There's no way. He wrote a book. Like, he fucking did it.
Well, no. What I mean is, I'm not saying he wasn't involved. I'm saying that his son was the one that did the killing. OJ tried to cover it up.
Okay.
That's a theory I've heard, and I think that's pretty reasonable. And, you know, if his son did it, he'd know exactly how his son did it.
I suppose. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. Have you seen his Twitter account, though? It's fucking phenomenal.
I bet it's got a lot of fucking salt and butthurt following it.
I don't know. I don't even look at the comments. That's the thing. Because he just says the most fucking off-the-wall shit. And, like, it's mostly about sports. Like, he'll talk mostly about sports. But then once in a while, he'll be like, oh, here's my opinion on, like, the current news. And it's always some, like, way off-the-wall shit. I recommend it. Go check it out.
Is it, like, off-the-wall as in, like, hyper-woke or just fucking out to left field?
Just out of left field. Like, not woke at all. No. He's just,
he's not at all
like, get some popcorn out. We're going to be here a while kind of stuff.
What was that?
Like, get the popcorn out. We're going to be here a while.
Oh,
kind of crazy.
It's more like just uninformed and like
just broke.
Yeah. Just like obviously he's in a bubble of some sort, and it's just interesting to see what he comes out with.
And he's accidentally based.
I'm sure. I don't know. I don't watch all of this stuff or anything, but like, yeah, I've seen a few things.
So moving along.
Funny. So you follow OJ, the juice.
Yeah, the juice. He's loose, dude.
Yep.
He is loose. He lost that civil case, but you know what? He's free.
Hey, yeah, good enough. Money doesn't buy happiness. Me, as in Katie's is apparently Will Smith. She's got ammo. Is that an AK? Yeah.
It's an AK variant.
AK variant.
Okay. What was this other thing that you said?
It's a CZ Shadow. It's a fucking Reddit tier meme gun.
And then I believe that is Katie's actual dog.
A doggo.
Xena, I believe.
Yeah, a doggo.
Xena, the warrior princess, I believe.
Yep. And then, you know, self-sufficient homestead.
The most based plot of land I've ever seen in my life.
That's the 1 acre holding.
Yep.
That's awesome. Dude.
I have that somewhere. I have that somewhere in my shitpost collection. The 1 acre holding.
I'm trying to just get a half acre, man. That's all I need. That's all I'm trying to get right now.
One acre.
That's what I'm saying. I ain't got that many kids, yo. I want a half an acre. I can't be.
Yeah, as I said, if I ever get a big old pile of money, I'm making, the nice Texas community.
I have somewhere. I have one of these, something like this, except for a half an acre.
Oh yeah, you just find that, send it along to me.
I've been looking for it for ages since I promised Robert I would get it to him, and I haven't. Where is it? I don't know.
Yep. Moving along. From Mr. Zed, actually.
Senor Zed.
Senor Zed.
So, I am going to make a seeming proposal here.
And
let women compete against women. Men compete against men, and transgender compete against transgender. I say we go back to a level playing field. I don't see why not. More and more people under the age of 25 identify as LGBTQIA2S.
Because they keep adding letters, that's why. Like, they can't help
and it's trendy.
Fall into that.
Because one of the words they have is, one of the ones is questioning now, which is just the most vague term.
Which I wonder how they start questioning. Perhaps they hear about things in school?
In school, in kindergarten through 3rd grade, maybe?
Yeah, crazy.
Wow. That doesn't happen, though. There's no reason to pass a law against that because it never happens.
Right.
How many you can get for 4 million quests?
Even though it never happens.
It depends on what state and county.
Oh, you mean it does happen in certain places, but that's anecdotal.
Because in parts of California, quest...
just because it happens sometimes doesn't mean need to freak out about it happening everywhere. It doesn't mean it's happening.
Right. Just because it's happening doesn't mean it's actually happening.
Because quest for $4 million in San Francisco, you'd probably get maybe an eighth or a 16th of an acre for $4 million. But if you go to like rural Montana, you could probably get several thousand at this point.
Holy shit! Yeah. Dude, move to Tennessee with us, Quest. You can get a shitload
I'll throw in. What the fuck, dude? I'll throw in. I got 20.
Let's talk after the show, dude. We're gonna start a compound, bro.
I got fucking
No. Don't call it a compound. It's a private ranch community.
That's right.
Correct. Yes, correct.
It's not a private
ranch community.
Yeah. It's a private ranch community with a very strict buy-in for the homeowner association.
Right.
No joggers.
No
bicyclists.
Yes, Keith.
No bikes. No joggers. No bikes.
Right. Well, agreed. No cyclists. No cyclists either. And I'm not joking about that either. Fuck cyclists, yo.
Even on a private road where they're not in the way.
Yeah. Well, if they're in my way, they're in the way. Get them the fuck out of my way. God damn! You're already getting my blood boiling.
That's right.
But what if I want to own a bicycle and occasionally ride it in the neighborhood?
Keep it in your yard. Keep it in your yard.
That's right. Gas the bikes. Race cars now.
That's right.
Moving along.
Golf course with no holes. Fuck yeah.
So from Austin Peterson. Day 1, there are no Nazis and no biolabs. Day 5, okay, maybe there's a few Nazis. Day 10, okay, yeah, there's a ton of Nazis, but they're good Nazis. And still no biolabs. Day 15. Okay, maybe there are a few harmless biolabs. Day 20. What's your problem with Nazi biolabs?
What are you, some kind of bigot, right?
Yeah.
Damn right-wing conspiracist. QAnon conspiracist.
Right.
Who tried telling me these things a year and a half ago? No.
Here's a fun one for John. Just a little quick one. Remind us of last week.
I promise I won't get political. Me after a pint of Guinness, an IRA propaganda video. But hang on, because Guinness were actually informants on the IRA. So why the hell would the IRA be supporting Guinness? They were traitors.
Because they're a bunch of drunk Irishmen. What do you expect?
Yeah, but there's so many delicious Irish whiskeys you can choose from.
You know they were fucking extorted for their business.
I mean, probably, but it doesn't matter.
Same thing with most businesses.
Right. A lot of people were dragged out of their homes and killed for not giving information. Like, come on. That's no excuse.
Yeah, true.
Struth. Gentlemen, take off your hats and press F to pay respect. Gary Pluchet died a few days, 6 days ago, almost a week ago, age 68.
Never served a day of jail time.
Post-trial jail time.
Yep.
Yeah, dude. Straight up.
Put the F's in the chat, boys.
There's my F.
Mine's already there, brah.
Yeah. We're the other ones who care, I guess.
My dick is out.
I guess it hasn't caught up to the
Yeah, it's catching up, yeah. Post quest.
He put in 3 F's.
No, 1 F and a questioning F.
Yes, he has a questioning F. Like F? F.
Are we effing? Yeah, it looks like we're effing. Let's F.
No. So.
Kitty Zed said that
Hailey finally showed up in his fucking track.
You give the Zeds 5 acres as a finder's fee. We should give the Johns a 1 acre as a awesome cool guy fee.
Yeah, look at you charging fees.
John, we need to measure your nose again.
My nose is fine, man. It's a good size. It's not too big, not hooked or anything like that.
Not too prominent.
No, not exactly. Not prominent.
I'll get the calipers.
I don't rub my hands together or anything like that.
That's very English.
John, I know you're not a fan of the guy, but decent take here. The U.S. invaded Iraq and Afghanistan, dropped bombs on Serbia and Libya. No one batted an eye. Just saying.
Wait, who is this that I don't like?
Felix Rex.
I don't know. I like this guy.
I thought you said something about his mom being of a certain tribe.
Oh no, that's not the guy. No.
Oh,
That's not the guy I said that to. What?
who'd you say it to then?
No. It wasn't anybody on here. I told somebody.
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Okay, so here's the context before now I get taken out of context as you brought that up when it was said off stream. No, somebody I was responding to someone else who called someone else a Jew. He's like, yeah, well, you're a Jew, and I was like, okay, your mom's a Jew, and then like that was I don't know that was
got it. Okay, we had crossed wires.
Right? Yeah, it wasn't.
Got it, but yeah,
it was a totally no you.
Yeah, the Felix Rex. He's one of those whites that escaped to Japan, basically.
Classic.
Oh, I know another one. Porch Honky is his name, which is a great name.
Yeah.
Porch Honky.
Yeah, and basically he kind of keeps an eye on what's going on in the West, and he's black pill midget level. It's also tiresome type.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, but yeah.
So yeah, no hate to Felix Rex. I don't know him.
Yeah, got it. Okay.
That was,
yeah.
Just putting that out there. Yeah, no hate at all. I don't know.
Yeah. Got it. We crossed wires. It happens. I mean, John's a drunk Irishman, so it's hard to figure out what he's saying half the time anyways.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, so.
All right, I'll try and name the flags. You have Iraq. You have Syria. You have...
Holy shit.
I'll skip that for now. Serbia.
Serbia, for sure.
And then Somalia. The Pakistan.
Pakistan? Is it? Oh, there's a bunch of them that have like the Islamic moon and star or whatever the fuck that is. I forget what the symbolism is, but
interesting. The Yemenis flag isn't up there.
I think that is interesting. I think that's the Iraqi flag on the bottom right? The last one.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So on the top left would be Egypt.
Fuck if I know, man.
Yeah, the Somali flag's that blue with a single star.
Nice.
Yep. The Bonnie Blue Star.
That's right. I wonder where they got that one from.
They stole it. Like, are you kidding?
Oh, Saudi Arabia.
Pirated.
Yeah, that white and green with the Islamic moon and star. That is apparently Saudi Arabia.
Huh. I thought their flag was different for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just retarded. I thought I was pretty good at this sort of thing. But...
apparently they've gone through several different flags.
Well, that's
beyond their comprehension.
Yeah. It's hard to keep track of them. So
the UAE.
Moving along. Yep. I just love this one.
I'd like to point out that this is a lot more gasoline efficient than like a gasoline car.
You mean gas inefficient?
No, it is gasoline efficient. This generator powering this car for a couple hours burns like 2 gallons of gasoline and it'll go 300 miles.
Oh, that's fair. Yeah. I mean, that generator is pretty small. That's probably like a gallon.
Dude, that generator is not going to power a car on its own. It's only like 3,500 watts, like max.
But again, the problem is you're talking about a slow trickle charge, which is always going to be more efficient.
It is kind of lame.
Yeah.
It's not a super powerful charge. It's 3,500 watt hour max. So,
not only that, but these things rarely have catalytic converters on them, so that's just spewing out the raw shit.
Yeah, you're right about that.
Yeah,
it's
producing less, but
He said, "I love it when people mix up their flags and go waving a Jamaican flag on St. Patrick's Day, or an Italian flag." People are so many times, but it's red instead of orange, but it's still green. It's green, white, and red for Italian flag, or green, white, and orange for the Irish tricolor. So it's like people are like, "Oh, is that an Italian flag?"
I mean, I've got a simple solution for this. Britain just take the rest of Ireland again, and they just use the British flag again. Problem solved.
They use a stupid ass Union Jack. That flag sucks. They should just go back to the harp of Ireland, dude. It says Aaron Gilbert underneath it. Okay, got the harp.
But
It's
yeah,
all green.
if I
The harp
remember
is
right,
gold. It's fucking beautiful.
theoretically,
Get that
if
vibe.
you make the near perfect design, you could produce a a diesel electric engine that is more efficient by converting the diesel into kinetic, then into electricity, then that turns the screws or turns the
you
wheels.
mean like a fucking locomotive? Yeah.
Yeah, like a locomotive. But the problem is that is an extremely large system you've got to build, and that just does not fit in a car.
Well, there you have it.
I mean, what was it? I kind of go into a little bit of my World War II history. The Porsche Tiger, if you guys know anything about that.
Well, I know about the tank. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not like not like intimately, but
well,
not,
yeah,
it
the
was
Porsche
like
Tiger
smart.
was one of the first ever attempts to implement one of those electric motor systems for a tank. All modern tanks, at least in the West, utilize that method where they have a gas turbine generator. But those things suck up fuel like no one's business.
Oh, it's somebody's business.
That's
Maybe
right.
it's the
There's a
commander in
whole
the supply
fucking
office.
industry set up around it.
Right.
In fact, there's like a systematic effort around the globe by certain controllers of those substances to secure it by any means.
Yeah. But
and
Sure.
fun
sometimes
fact
it's by
about
the
those
means of
gas
the
turbine
tank.
powered tanks, they
Some-
burn as much gas idling as they do going at full speed.
So you might as well just go at full speed at all times. You're not gonna
Pretty
like,
much,
you're gonna-
yeah. Because that's just how those electric motors
That's
work.
why they invade countries.
Right.
Because I mean, we
Well, they did it
turn
on
the
purpose. They
engines
just couldn't
on,
stop.
right? We turned the engines on. We need to move these bad boys, or else
Right.
we're wasting shekels.
Yep. Basically, we've finally been able to shrink down the concept of what they used on submarines.
A diesel submarine? That sounds horribly inefficient. And
No,
loud.
it's actually one of the stealthiest submarines on the planet.
Huh.
Yeah.
Not even nuclear. Not even
Nuclear is louder because it's got to suck in fresh water to cool the reactor.
Oh yeah, fair enough. Fair
The
enough.
U.S. nuclear subs apparently have gotten really good at being very quiet, but apparently for years the U.S. Was basically leasing the Swedish diesel electric submarine, which was the latest and greatest of that design, along with the crew, which is a crack team, specifically to have them train against American carrier groups to prepare them for other countries utilizing that submarine concept.
My dad used to do war games in the Gulf when he was in the Gulf War. He used to do war games with submarines, and they would fuck them up like all the time.
Yeah,
They would fuck up the submarines.
No. The submarines would fuck up his little destroyer, and like it would choose a destroyer. So like they're supposed to hunt and
His
find
job
submarines.
is to find and kill subs.
And they're like, nah. And it's like at the end of the game, they're like, we can't find them. And they would come up like fucking 200 feet off the bow and chill at the they're like, oh, we're right here. The whole
sonar,
time.
Well, no. They
sonar, but
you're talking about active versus passive sonar, and the thing is, you rarely use active sonar. The only time they really use active sonar these days is when they're getting distance to the submarine. Once you know the submarine's there, they know you're there, so there's no reason not to use active. But if you're being a sneaky fucker, and you're using passive, because the thing is, boats can be sneaky too.
Of course, yeah.
Why would a surface vessel with all the advantage over a submarine not want to use active sonar in search of a submarine?
Because it's like yelling stealth attack when you're jumping right before you jump from the tree.
What I was going to say is I don't know what the parameters of these war games were. I just know that the subs were badass. That's what I was told.
Yeah, but that was also Gulf. That was Gulf War, which was a long ass time ago.
I wouldn't want to be on
the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
Like
I wouldn't want to be on a destroyer.
No, certainly not.
Yep. So, scooting along.
Certainly wouldn't want to be in a submarine either. I wouldn't want to be that claustrophobic all the time. Like I have to be like.
Oh yeah, once a submarine's detected nowadays, it's a guaranteed kill.
Fuck that. Dude.
Because even if they're able to take out the destroyer, if it has enough time, will radio back to the carrier group, and there go the helicopters with the active sonar buoys that are just gonna find you, and start dropping the depth charges. You're done.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm just talking about your day-to-day life would suck.
Oh, yeah. I think even American submarines still do hot bunking.
Wait, hot bunking. Wait, okay, yeah. Where you're like,
you don't have a dedicated bunk. You share a bunk with someone else.
Well, that's an ancient tradition in Navy.
American subs still use
14 inches.
Yeah,
you got your 14 inches, and when you're the other guy next to you, or I guess where your feet would go, when that guy's on deck, you get his 14 inches, so you actually get 28 inches. So that was kind of like it was some fucked up shit. But no, my grandfather was a submariner in Vietnam, so like that's an old ass sub, and like he's like. Yeah, it's shitty.
But one of the few luxuries submarines did get, they always get the best cooks in the Navy. Submarines always get the best cooks.
I would hope so. They got to get something, man, the poor bastards.
Because one of the few things they've got.
Well, they also have nothing better to do all day but cook. So
yeah. Apparently, the hierarchy goes submarine captains and then admirals for the cooks, for cook selection.
Nice.
Yeah. So admirals get second fucking fiddle to the submarine captains.
I mean, fair enough. It's still good. Like, it's not going to be shitty food.
Oh, yeah. They're getting the second line guys, so they're pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's true. Seawolf probably is too tall to be a squid. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm 6'2". I'm way too tall for that shit.
Yeah, you're way too tall for a sub, bruh.
I'd also be too tall for pilot as well.
They would love to have Mijjt, though. They'd be like, you don't even need all 28 inches, bruh.
he fits in most overhead compartments.
I need 28 inches for this dick.
Got him. He's like, I need like 6 inches.
Mijjt, do we need to pull up that arrest video of you again?
What was that?
The arrest video of Mijjt being taken away by the cops.
Oh yeah, that shit was funny.
But yeah, moving along to Ben Sheckelstein, I think is his name.
I'll be right back.
So yeah, about that pivot. Joe Biden approval. There's the Ukraine.
Yeah, it's weird how that happens, right?
Yeah, it's almost like he only got a very small bump and it's still going down.
Right, it's going back down because he's bungled it. I mean, not that Joe Biden has done anything, right? He's just a steward.
Yeah.
He's not the one actually making decisions. He's just the face, which is dumb as fuck if you think about it. Like,
but you would think that somebody would have some brains behind the operation.
I mean, I guess they don't have much of a choice, right? Like, he's a president, so he's supposed to be out there. They don't really have much of a choice. They can't hide him too much.
Yeah, but everything he does is scripted, so you would...
stuff was really working. That was really, really working.
Yeah.
And they can't let that go on for too much longer, right? Especially once he's actually president.
Yeah, exactly. You can't hide him. Which has kind of caused an inverse effect. Apparently, Trump is considered more popular now than he ever was before.
It's possible.
Because people are, thinking hindsight.
Yeah. They're looking at they're comparing now. They've asked them to compare it. So they're like, okay, we did 4 years of Trump. Now we've done a year of Biden.
And change.
Yeah. But it's like, okay, things are way worse now than they were under Trump. Like, yeah, okay, mean tweets, but, gestures wildly in every direction. Like,
yeah. I think a lot of people would take the mean tweets again.
Dude, I can't wait for the mean tweets. Like, those were the best.
Yeah.
Tisk.
Yep.
Well, all right.
So, moving along to the next one.
Yeah, let's move on, man.
This is a good one. John, you headline this one.
It's been an hour and 15 minutes, and we're less than halfway through. So.
Then we'll start rapid firing the memes.
Actually, it's been about an hour and 16 minutes. Mijjt.
Okay, fuck it. God damn it, John, I'm ending the stream now.
No.
Do your meme, or we're ending it. Go.
Due to its long lines that jam up traffic, officials have given the Southern California Chick-fil-A 90 days to present traffic solutions. Right? Spike Cohen, very intelligently, very smartly, says, without government, who would blame you for their failure to use the money they stole from you to provide sufficient infrastructure because your business is too successful? Yeah. That's also California.
Oh,
I
yeah,
didn't realize
exactly.
that before, that it was California.
Yeah. Fox 11
Yeah.
Los Angeles.
Yeah,
Also,
totally
the thing
makes
is,
sense.
in a lot of Republican-controlled areas, you know what they would do? Hey, Chick-fil-A, why don't you sit down with our city planners
Right.
and we
We'll
together come up with a plan to get this
together.
fixed? Yeah.
Crazy, right?
Public-private partnership.
Wait, as if the corporations aren't a fucking enemy of you necessarily. And at least we're talking about like local government, right? When we talk about
Well,
the
yeah,
federal
well, also the local
government,
government's like, yeah, of course we want to help them because they're
like, we need a
successful,
solution
which
to
means
this.
more
Yeah,
jobs and more local tax revenue. It's an investment for them.
right. It's like, dude, but no, we're just gonna. You better come up with something, or we're gonna start fining you. Like, what? And then we're gonna shut you down because you're too successful. That's so a Californian thing to do.
Yep.
That's why everyone's leaving. That's why all the famous people are leaving. At least the rich people, if not like all like the A-listers are probably fine there. But like anyone who's a B-lister or under, they're moving the
Well,
hell
not only
out.
that, but a lot of the Republicans are leaving the state as well. It's a lost cause of them. I would argue at least half the people leaving California are right-leaning.
I mean, to be fair, if they hadn't left if they had the ability to and they hadn't left before now, that's on them. I mean, obviously, if you don't have the ability to, then fine. I get
John,
that,
John,
what's that?
Stop simping for Cohen. He's not going to sleep with you, brah.
He already did, and he already did. We're just trying to get the second one, trying to get round 2 over here.
Let's
scooting along to another Austin Peterson. And this is one that boils my blood a little bit because I see so many fucking problems with it. Propaganda is ultimately self-defeating. I'm just going to leave that up for a minute. You guys tell me what you see wrong here.
First I see a woman, so let's start there. Let's see, apparently we're holding the hot side of the soldering
iron.
Yeah, that thing that I don't use. Yeah. I'm totally familiar with.
It's fine. It's a hobbyist thing. I don't blame you for not knowing the terminology.
Right. I know the word soldering. I just don't know
soldering iron.
Yeah. What exactly do you solder with?
Soldering iron.
Right. No, apparently. I get that now. Yeah. I didn't know that before. Yeah. Also, I don't know, something about that shirt. It's just too.
Well, also, it almost looks photoshopped to me.
Right. Like it doesn't look quite right. Like it's pressed, and it's like perfect, as if she hasn't been working. In this with the soldering iron. Apparently, she has not been working all day or anything. I don't know.
She's not wearing a mask.
Well,
not wearing a mask. I don't know if she's vaxxed or not, so that might also be a problem.
No, he's talking about wearing a respirator because when soldering, the flux will evaporate, and that shit's fucking nasty. Not only that, I'm using terms. Flux is a material that you put on something you're going to solder to help the solder flow more efficiently.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and kind
flux. It's fucking Latin for flow. You cretin.
Yeah.
Jesus.
If I was a cretin, why would
also,
I know
a lot of solder people work with is leaded solder, as in it has lead in it. Even though there's not a lot that gets vaporized because it doesn't reach the vaporization temperature for lead, you still want to be careful with it.
Oh, yeah.
So, personally, at some point, I will be getting into some hobby electronics at some point. I plan on actually wearing a proper painter's mask while using it, while still having a fume hood.
Oh, you're gonna be masked. You're gonna be masked.
I'm wearing a painter's mask because I'm not gonna risk the fucking flux.
Bring it. Mask yourself. Anyway.
Also, the other problem I have, that's a computer motherboard. The only time I've seen somebody solder a computer motherboard is if it's an old ass motherboard and they're trying to repair it. Yeah. Or you're trying to salvage something from it, which I don't think she's doing either of these. This is a fairly modern motherboard. It's worthless.
It's got the fucking CPU attached to it with the heatsink. Like, it's put together. Why is she?
You don't solder
taking a soldering iron to it. She doesn't even have solder in her hand.
Yes.
She's not. She doesn't even have solder material in her other hand to solder with.
Yeah.
So what is this supposed to be like? What is this
It's
like
trying to get more women into
pamphlet?
STEM.
No, I get that. I understand what it's trying to do. Where is it though? Like, is it in like a on like a website?
My
Like
guess is a
stock photo?
university pamphlet somewhere or advertisement for an electronics program of some sort. Probably an electronics engineering degree, my guess.
Online fucking technology.
Yeah. I don't see like the stock, photo little watermark or whatever on there.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty low res. There's a lot of pixels, especially on the right side, but I guess that's a lot to do with the zoom in there.
Zoom and enhance.
Yeah, zooming and not enhancing, obviously.
Yeah. So, well, scooting along.
We should have been scooted along, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're fine.
In tweets that aged well, from the
bobblehead
peppermint patty.
That's a good one.
Hunter Biden's story is Russian disinfo. She pawns off the responsibility of her statement onto others. And then New York Post, about 2 years later, says...
A year and a half. Let's be honest. Let's be more fair.
Hunter Biden's infamous laptop confirmed in New York Times report. Right. Well, see, it's a good thing Jen Psaki didn't say it, right?
Exactly.
Dozens of former Intel officials say it.
Right, dozens. Dozens. Not 1 dozen. Dozens.
No, actually, it was about 3 dozen. And in fact, they all have names.
Moving on.
Do we know their names?
Yeah, I have a
Hey guys, Mitt Romney.
Bridget, of course, has receipts.
Tulsi Gabbard with the receipts.
Speaking of receipts, yeah.
Well, shall we?
Yep. So, moving along again.
Driving his little bus across the tracks. And Tulsi Gabbard shows up with receipts. Yeah, she's got receipts.
Yep. I don't trust her with power, but, hey, if you want to burn down the establishment, I'm cool with that.
She can surf.
Yeah, coconut mommy? Isn't that what
Surfer mommy.
Yeah. That's
coconut
right.
Mommy. Yeah.
That's right.
That's what Ed calls her anyway.
Now, moving on to this one, since it's post St. Patrick's Day. Say it, John.
Yes, I support LGBT, landlords, gamers, billionaires.
Say it.
I can't say it. I can't bring myself to say it.
I said not Thatcher.
No.
Not Thatcher.
I mean, I could support 2 of those 4 things.
I can support. Well, I mean, support in what way? Like, I guess I support one of them through my rent.
Well, do you support landlords being allowed to exist?
Right. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Gamers, obviously, we're all that. Right. Varying stripes, and I could argue we could support billionaires existing, but not much more than that. Yeah.
Well, yeah. So, like, I'm not gonna you have too much money. I'm gonna punish you because you did that. Like, that's not. Yeah.
No, it's just, if you're gonna start causing problems, I'm just gonna try to avoid your businesses.
Right, exactly. It's not like it's okay. So the main reason they say billionaires, right, is like that someone else having a bunch of money is not the reason why you're poor. Like that's just not the case.
Nope.
So like billionaires existing is not what's stopping you from having money.
Resources always asymmetrically flow to the top 20%.
Right, but it's not even resources though. So the whole thing, like the whole leftist motif about wealth redistribution is always predicated on the fact that wealth is finite, in their opinion. Right, that the wealth is never created, which is of course ridiculous, demonstrably false.
Well, yeah, I would argue
so much so that
resources are produced.
Resources can be finite. Certain resources are finite. What I'm saying is wealth is not finite. Wealth is constantly created. Resources are different. Resources go in and out of style. They go in and out of existence. Fine. Yeah. But wealth itself is not finite. That is constantly created.
Mm-hmm. And scooting along to the next one.
This is a great movie, by the way. I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's referencing Lord of War. Um, One of the best Nicolas Cage movies ever made.
Yep.
Fantastic movie. Uh, but yeah, this is the scene where his brother's in like some kind of Eastern European like brothel or something. He's got a shitload of cocaine. And he created Ukraine out of cocaine. Oh man, yeah, his whole plan was like snort the whole of Ukraine like all the way around. It's insane. But yeah, yeah, that's a good one though. I like that little Hunter Biden.
Shoop.
And
Pretty good
do you
shoop
love
too.
me now, Teddy?
Yeah.
Do you love me now, Teddy?
I wish you were the one that died.
Right.
I'm sure a lot of people wish that. Moving along. I wouldn't be surprised if this comes from a leftist source.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised either, but it's not incorrect.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's one of those things that, like, look, they buy in bulk.
Right. Well, it's like I mentioned off stream, and I'll mention it again. There's one particular company, and I'm sure there's many others like it, Aramark, that is basically like the largest corporation of, I don't know what other word for it, caterers, in at least the country. I don't know how far they are around the world, but at least in the country, where they supply schools and prisons, and like universities and tons of other places. But
well,
they are
also
in both
something
public
else.
schools and prisons. Like,
City
they put them in
buses. Have you
contracts.
ever noticed that city buses look pretty similar between all the various cities? It's almost like there's only a handful of companies that
Right.
make this super specialized piece of equipment that only has a couple of buyers.
Right, and they get they get contracts and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all government contracts, and so yeah. But there's also a lot of other similarities. Like the school bell is one of those. The fact that school starts early in the morning.
Yeah.
Things like that. Even homework is an example of that. Which I know I sound like a 12-year-old now, like rambling about like, oh, it's prison, but like it's so that your mind is always on school, right? It's always on the next day. That gets you involved. It's either going to get you ready for quote unquote working, especially like working as a wagee or going to prison. Either one works, but public school prepares you for both of those. It's a shame.
Well, moving along to the next one. We need NP. We need not an NPC. Is this a soy voice or is this a smug Reddit voice?
I don't know what the difference is. Mijjt, is there a difference?
They're the same.
Okay.
They are the same. Well, let's hear it.
You won't fix anything by posting memes.
And John, since you're the 1776 will commence again, or at least closer to it.
The American Revolution was mostly planned in pubs and was popularized using pamphlets.
AKA memes of the day.
Of the day. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah, no, it's true though.
Hey, bro, have you seen this?
Cartoons and stuff? Those are memes. It's the same thing. It's just now they're much more readily available, easier to create, to where anyone can create one.
Have you read that dank new pamphlet? Oh?
Right.
Yep.
Have you read the new Dank Federalist that came out? It's insane. Yeah.
Yep.
Shit is fire.
Here, let me share it. Oh no! Don't let old Bill see it. He's gonna ban us from the pub. Yeah,
that's right.
Moving along. Senator Rick Scott proposed cutting the IRS budget by half. The agency's commissioner said you might be better off and save more money by just shutting it down completely.
I completely agree. Your terms are acceptable. I 100% agree with the agency's commissioner. Let's do it.
Yep.
Let's do it. Yes, Katie said, meme them until they cry, and then make memes about them crying.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Then we become salt. We become salt busters like Brit.
Oh yeah. Oh, she's like. But I don't know if we could ever be like Brit, but We can try.
We can follow the class progression. She's prestige super prestige class salt miner, salt buster.
She's driving like the front end loader, the steam shovel that like sits in the bottom of and peels massive chunks of salt.
And we're just the humble dump truck drivers.
Well, we can get the ones that fall off the edges of hers. Like, we can scoop those up, right?
Yeah.
Well, we got to break those chunks down before we can move them, dude. We're talking tons.
Yeah. Got to break that salt down.
Per hour.
Well, moving along to this one. Just a nice little crypto one. Life before I invested in my first crypto versus after.
Is that a goldfish and rice?
Yes. He went from very nice sushi to this.
That's hilarious. I didn't catch that the first time we saw it.
Well,
that's hilarious. I like that a lot.
When did he jump in? At 60,000? If he jumped
literally,
in at 60,
unless
000?
you jumped in at the very beginning, you've probably lost money.
Especially if he jumped in like last February.
Oh yeah.
Retard.
Look, I think we would all agree if we could send some knowledge back to our past selves, we would have gotten Bitcoin. Like a couple of bucks a Bitcoin, or a decent computer could get a couple of Bitcoin a day, and then just sit on it for years.
Hold that bag.
Yep. Hold on to it till it hits 60,000 and sell off.
That's the plan.
Yep. Well, again, that's if we could, tell our younger selves to do something.
No, I'm saying that's the plan. When it goes back to 60 in June or July, I'm selling.
Oh, nice. Yep. So, moving on to dude posting a W. Man spends 2 years building tunnel from house to shed to avoid the rain.
Fucking based. Love this guy. That is amazing.
You, sir, are a legend. More men should be like you.
That's right, dude. Fuck the rain.
Yeah.
Get out of it. Get around it.
And, and tunnels are cool.
Smithers. What a dumb name for a journalist. Dominic Smithers.
He's English.
Okay, yeah, even worse.
Scooting along to the next one. I think this is us pretty much at this point.
I do not stand with Russia. Do not stand with Ukraine. Do not stand with NATO. Do not stand with the UN. I stand with Big Tobacco.
They probably killed far fewer people.
Right, they've killed way less people. Also, smoking is cool, kids. Go smoke.
No, don't do that, kids.
You will be cool if you smoke.
Right, you're not cool now. You actually suck right now. But if
don't smoke, kids. It's not recommended for your health.
Well, fuck your health. You're a kid. You're invincible. You're fine. Go ahead.
That's right. You are made of invincible.
Yeah,
the Porch Bois podcast does not condone these messages. These are done purely for entertainment value.
Correct. Yes, of course. Yes.
All of my posts are satire.
Yes. That's right.
As Quest put it, covered walkway for the previous one.
Right. Well, that's too easy.
And one from Austin Peterson.
If you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life. This dude is loving this right now. He's about to beat somebody. He's like, I can't wait to bring this fucking wrist and elbow around. And
look how well equipped he is compared to his surroundings. Look at like the slums in which he is.
Yeah, this is like South Africa,
well dressed, nice, clean.
Like, no, this is Asia.
Sri Lanka and
is it Asia?
Like,
yeah, this would be either South or Southeast Asia.
Goddamn Sri Lanka or fucking Thailand.
No, I think it's Southeast Asia, based on just the general look. Southeast Asia is my guess.
He's got a lot of, I think you might be right about Asia for sure. Look at all these patches and shit he's got all over the place. Like, why?
I'm saying. And then look at it, compare that to his surroundings.
Yeah.
And see why he's not enthusiastic.
Chevrons or some shit he's got on his.
Why is he not enthused? Yeah, he's super pleased to be exactly where he's at. Because he's not amongst the rabble in the fucking shithole.
Yeah.
You know, whatever he doesn't have to deal with all that.
J Edgar, J Edgar's asking a question. You've Mijjt. Are the Stars of David that Mijjt spams in my Discord also satire?
They are satirical stars of satire of David.
Well memed, Quest Fanning. That's what I call Asian persuasion.
That's really good. Holy shit, Quest.
Do your homework or you get stick.
Asian persuasion. That's really good, actually. Holy shit, that was clever. I like that.
Parentheses satire.
That really got me. He's like, yeah, wordplay really gets me, Quest. I don't know if you know that. Yeah,
but not
really
puns.
Well, puns sometimes, but that was really good. That was like caught me off guard.
So here we go.
20 days, saying, "Are you fucking serious?" for the 13,000th time today.
What babies did the U.S. starve?
Oh yeah, are you fucking serious? Yeah, let's start with Yemen, and then we can work on other ones. But yeah. So this is the first of our articles, right?
Shitload of kids under 5 starving to death. 60% of the deaths from starvation and disease. Essential servicing of warplanes and weapon sales, including cluster munitions, which are banned under international treaties to which the Saudis are not a party.
We can't use them, but they can buy them.
That's right. We can sell them all right.
Mm-hmm.
To our cousins in the Saudi royal family.
Right. What they do with them, we're not responsible for. You know, even though we know
it's
happening,
not our
we know what to do
problem.
with them. Yeah.
Well,
but we care about people. But we care about people.
Well, I mean, if we were more honest and we were more isolationists, if we had weapons companies that were just selling, we're like, look, we're isolationists. They're the ones buying them.
It'd be fun if we were consistent.
Yeah, it
would be fine, but it would be. I guess I shouldn't say it would be fine. It would be more consistent.
Yeah.
If we were consistent, right, with the principle of like we'll sell to whoever wants to buy them. That's one thing. That's being consistent. But when we try to like grandstand
about what Russia's doing, it's like no,
right, it's like,
we are literally helping fund and supply something far worse.
Right, and then what's Iraq? Right, what the fuck was that about? We did the same shit. Like, what are you for way longer? Like, what the fuck are you on about? Like, oh my god.
Regime change in Libya, attempted regime change in Syria, the fuck we did in Somalia,
everywhere. Libya, Syria, everywhere, man.
Serbia still got some scars.
It's like Putin's doing it. It's bad. Like, all right, I mean, I get okay, it's our side versus his side, whatever. But like, you're doing the same shit. Like, don't try and be like, oh, we're better than them. Or like, we stand with, human rights and stuff. You don't give a fuck. Shut the fuck up. You don't give a shit.
Again, this is why I'm an isolationist.
Better than being a fucking global homo. God damn.
Yeah, isolationist nationalist.
It's all pretense. Everything is pretense.
So, but are you guys ready to get canceled for good?
Please.
I'm there.
The Babylon Bee's Man of the Year is Rachel Levine.
Rachel Levine has been selected by the Babylon Bee for his first annual Man of the Year. Levine is the U.S. Assistant Secretary for Health in the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, where he serves proudly as the first man in that position to dress like a Western cultural stereotype of a woman. He is also an admiral in the U.S. Public Health Service Commissioned Corps.
And that's as much I think we can get away with. Moving along.
Rachel's original name is Rachel Levine. And,
oh, that's dead naming, I've heard.
Yep. Moving along to this next one. All those people died for nothing but ego. Breaking, Zelensky says he's prepared to discuss a commitment from Ukraine not to seek NATO membership in exchange for ceasefire, the withdrawal of Russian troops, and the guarantee of Ukraine's security.
Yep.
Well, Okay, that's good to hear. At least people can stop dying now.
Well, that's the shot. Here's the chaser. U.S. signals it's discouraging Zelensky from making concessions to Russia that could end the fighting.
So, yes, that's true. And also, might I take a moment to shout out antiwar.com and especially Scott Horton. Fantastic. Scott Horton has got to be like the biggest nerd when it comes to like American foreign policy. This dude is like absolutely ridiculous. If you want to know like everything about everything America's ever done and like not America, he's the guy. He's the guy to go to.
He's a walking database.
It's insane. It's like you're not gonna believe it. You got to go check him out. That's it.
I love when the State Department themselves comes out and tells us. Let me fucking highlight these two paragraphs here. Ned Price said, Zelensky has made it very clear. When asked to elaborate on this point, Price, again, spokesman to the State Department, said that the war is, quote, bigger than Russia and Ukraine, quote. The key point is that there are principles that are at stake that have universal applicability everywhere. Okay, this is about globo homo. This is about the New World Order. This is about...
Well, and the thing is, unless we commit troops, which basically will eventually... Because the thing is, we're not going to stop the Ukraine border. We're going to go into Russian territory. We're going to surround Moscow. And then the nukes start flying.
No, we're not. No.
Yeah, dude,
no, I'm saying that if we commit our troops, that's the only way to end this. Russia's very likely going to win this war.
Well, yeah, if this war is what it is, and this is where it stops.
Their objectives of taking the territories in eastern Ukraine,
securing Crimea for good,
and securing Ukraine against global homo for good.
Crimea.
Yeah.
But, right, and securing Ukraine, their backdoor and nearest ally.
Well, also it's also going to cause a blow to it because a lot of nations are going to go, maybe this global unity thing won't work, and I've got to go nationalist.
Right, there you go.
And then and then what happens is, well, I can't import people now, so I'm going to have to encourage more native birth. Now I've got to encourage more native birth and focusing on citizens over the immigrant.
In the seawall direction, you're so hopeful for the future. No, dude, it's about deflating the dollar into irrelevancy.
Which would then force the U.S. to go insular.
Well, that's happening though. We're talking about like the who was it? Was it the Saudis? Like we're starting to accept the yuan.
They're considering it. The problem is they go down that road, they will lose the U.S. protections, guaranteed. And China can't provide the same protections the U.S. can.
No, that's true. They can't.
Yeah.
But that's not the point, right? The point is the value of the dollar versus the yuan. Which, it's not there yet, right? But the fact is the trend is
another problem is China will purposefully devalue their currency, and that will completely fuck over anyone that trades in their currency in the long run.
Okay, even if that's true, though, but as long as it works. Then
it works for like a couple of years, and then no one trusts the Chinese currency anymore.
And then the American dollar is still destroyed, though.
The American dollar is damaged, and we probably switch back to either trading in gold or basically...
Again with the hopefulness, Seawall. Again with the hopefulness. No. The NWO will...
decisions, and we're talking about irrational actors. You're talking about rational decisions. We're talking about irrational actors. I mean, that's just...
And also, he doesn't have a vision for, like, the actual vision of the future. Like, you don't grasp that these people are already in the works to, again, global digital currency.
Yes.
And fucking...
Which requires a nearly perfectly stable system to properly work.
Okay, and
what's the competition? There is no competition at that point.
Here's the competition. Putin and China are the competition. Russia and China are the competition. The multipolarity. That is, he has already explained that this is the fucking point. Multipolarity. This unipolarity has failed and will not work.
Which is required for the global currency to even function.
See,
any
I actually agree
trying to
with you on
deny
the
it.
point that I don't think that even Russia and China combined can do it. I really don't
No,
think
I
that.
don't think
That's not their
so.
goal. That's not their goal. Their
Well, I'm
goal is
not
to
saying
try
that's
to
their
upset the
goal.
apple
I'm saying,
cart. Well,
I'm
okay,
saying that they
China
have
has
it.
ambitions to be the world superpower, and they're going to fail. They're going to shatter into 100
Yeah.
pieces,
Well,
as they
yeah,
always do.
right.
But
Yeah, I
during
mean,
that time, the USA will go far more insular, and without the USA backing the global unity thing, it falls apart too. They need a strong and stable US to pull off their goals.
you talk about China. I don't know.
No. I'm talking about the attempt to switch to a global digital currency. You need a strong and stable U.S. superpower.
But I don't think you do. All you need is, like Obama said, a strong American consumer, right?
But the problem is, a strong American consumer can only
What a
exist in a stable
fantastic
America.
quote. What a fantastic fucking quote.
That's what he said. He said,
Holy shit.
America needs a strong Chinese manufacturer, and America needs China.
And when
China
China
needs a strong American
collapses,
consumer.
there is no
Holy
producer
fucking
anymore.
shit, dude.
You have to
Goddamn,
revert to
bro.
local
Yes.
production.
Well, let's
What a
hope. I want that
fantastic
to be
fucking
true.
quote.
Yeah.
The
Of
Amerigolan
course it is.
Network.
Yeah.
Of course it is. Yeah, of
So-
course it's a fantastic quote, and it's absolutely true. It was a mass slip moment at the time when
Yeah.
mass slip is often.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what the point is, right? So Americans consume better than anybody on the planet. That's why we're quote unquote the best, right? But we don't have any money, right? We're what is it, 29? Are we 30 trillion yet?
Well,
And
over
debt?
30
We're not
trillion, yeah.
paying that shit off. We're not
Oh, yeah.
fucking paying that shit off.
Oh yeah, we're going to default, and then basically
Not gonna
there goes the
happen.
American consumer.
Right.
It's over.
It's
a hard reset back to a more early concept of probably
That is
mercantilism.
Makes
Debt
you
is
a
money.
slave. When you have debt, you are a slave. And therefore, the American government having $30 trillion in debt today is a slave to the rest of the world because if they
And
try
then the
and
rest of the
collect,
world
That's it.
has twice to 3 times as much debt with the U.S. It's a very fascinating system. The Chinese have 10 times as much debt. We have 10 times as much debt on the Chinese as the Chinese have on the U.S.
Oh shit, we lost the midget.
Okay.
I'm sure he'll be back.
Yep.
Sure, his internet just shit out.
Yeah.
But no, I mean,
Oh, there he is.
There
He's back.
There he is.
Yeah.
Okay. But no, I mean, like we're still not producing anything. I know Biden's now suddenly, and now it's okay to suddenly be the American manufacturer. We're going to bring jobs back to the U.S. Fine, all well and good, but it's a little too late.
Yeah, well,
Really.
yeah,
Well, I mean,
several decades too late.
Well, yeah, when China collapses, the U.S. is forced to go back to local manufacture. It's going to be painful. It's going to suck. But one of the few things that the U.S. still has that it manufactures at home, manufacturing equipment. We still manufacture that in-house. Because we're one of the few nations that can do the precision.
Real quick, Katie said, I know Mijjt hates us, but that's not why he left.
No, it's his internet is shit.
Yeah, he can't leave, actually. He's a debt slave. So he cannot leave.
Yeah,
And the Irish exit, yeah, exactly.
I guess at this point we should probably move on to the video so we don't go too over.
Yeah, we should.
Yep.
This
first one, posted by Rittenhouse himself, so let's enjoy.
Written Chad himself.
That's right, run.
Oh, no.
Over the gas prices, man. Over the fucking gas prices.
I know. It's so good. It's a really good edit.
He didn't make it. He's just reposting it. But, the fact that he's reposting it means that's a good sign. That means he is healing from his trauma.
Right. Yeah, I mean, that obviously, he's taking it in stride. He's, he's got a good support system. At least he's got his mom and his sister. I think he's got a dad, too. He's, I'm
a little sketched out by the security guy. But I think I'm more sketched out by him, more being like he's trying to ride the coattails to get the gravy.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, he's in it for the money, but I think he at least understands that a happy Kyle equals more money.
Well, of course, yeah. Anybody in security is going to know. Keep the principal is what they call them. Don't know if you guys knew that.
Well, he's not just physical security. He's also partially in control of the finances.
Okay.
So that's why I'm sketched out by the guy that does that.
Yeah, that's kind of
Yeah, it should be written out, and his mom making with the financial advisor, and then that guy just is purely security advisor, and just takes a salary.
Right. Exactly. So. But yeah. So like Katie said, she's like, I like people who can laugh at themselves. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right, and that's great. But then, of course, you have the backlash of like, oh, look, he doesn't feel remotely sorry. Those
they're again completely ignoring the fact that laughing at your own trauma is a healing mechanism.
You're right. It's something that actually therapists recommend, and in fact, there's a whole it's a stupid fucking thing, but it's called laughing yoga, where like you kind of you say your trauma out loud, and then everyone laughs, including yourself.
Also,
and, like, it makes you feel better about it, right?
Do you know who has the most fucked gallows humor you'll ever see?
Of course.
Fire, police, EMT, paramedic, trauma surgeon, ER doctor, nurse.
Well, you have to.
You have to. Otherwise, a lot of them become alcoholics. A lot of them become abusive.
Of course.
Especially
even police. Yeah. Well, I think it's like 40%.
Yeah.
Have like domestic violence issues. Like that's an issue.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure if it's 40%. It might be.
Well, remember that also a lot of those numbers do come from anti-cop sources. And also, what was it?
It doesn't mean they're wrong. It's just like you have to look.
But also, there's also a lot. There's also a type of stress-induced, like one-time or very rare domestic violence that it doesn't require legal action. It requires therapy to solve. The example is basically it's Thanksgiving dinner. The in-laws are in there that don't really like you. You're stressed. Nothing's going right, and you may shove your significant other. But you immediately regret it. It's just everything is.
You chuck a plate and it smashes against the wall and everyone's crying and whatever, right?
It's not dealt with by calling the cops. It's dealt with by stepping away from the situation and talking to a therapist.
Right, of course,
It's stress induced, and it's one of those things that a lot of stuff's getting caught up in that, unfortunately. So. Because the thing is, look, John, you may hate the cops. You understand they have a stressful as fuck job.
Of course. No, of course they do. Yeah. Absolutely they do.
Especially when they're being demanded to be, a therapist, a medical expert. You're demanding...
It's also like, okay, cops also, to their credit, are having to deal with the worst people in society.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, I kind of get that. But the point is also, that their job is illegitimate and... whatever. But I understand on the human level, what they're,
which makes you a lot better than the vast majority of the anti-coppers out there.
Right,
you still see them as human. You just think their job is fucking terrible.
Right. I think that they should not do that job. Is what I think. Right?
Whereas others think they should be in jail or dead, just for being.
A lot of them should be, but I know. I think they don't know better, right? A lot of people don't know better. Especially people in the military, right? So, like, let's say, okay, so Jose Galisan from Tower Gang podcast, and he's got his own podcast. He was in the Air Force for however many years. I forget how many years.
Oh, the Chair Force.
On the Chair Force. And then, so he eventually, like, he read, Rothbard and Hoppe and all these different anarchist philosophers. And then he was like, well, I realize now that I'm in the system. Like, he had like a coming out period where he's like, I realize that I'm part of this system that's like killing, hundreds of thousands of people, innocent people. And he's like, there's blood on my hands. And as soon as his enlistment was up, he got out.
Yeah.
Right. So like that kind of thing I respect because you didn't know before.
Oh yeah, and also a lot of the good cops have left.
Did something about it, right? So like that's the kind of thing I respect a lot. Yeah. But when it comes to like, okay, no, I know I'm doing this and I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Because it's the quote unquote like right thing to do. Like when you constantly defend it, like that's the issue that I have.
So, well, scooting along to the next video just because we're getting a little caught in the weeds.
No, I know. It's just like I want to keep that. I want to make that clear.
Have y'all seen this? A lawmaker in Missouri with a uterus is trying to make sure that other people with uteruses in Missouri will be punished if they tried to get an abortion outside of Missouri. Now, abortion is not outlawed in Missouri yet. You can still get one up until 22 weeks, but they're trying to outlaw it like altogether. All of these abortion bans are getting out of control. And you know why they're doing this?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Because of capitalism. Oh. Yes, literally everything is about capitalism because everything under capitalism is exploitation.
Yes, blame Snowball. I mean capitalism.
People. Now, millennials and Gen Z are having less children because we can't afford them because, 2 recessions, a pandemic, low-wage jobs, etc. So they're...
honey, do you want to know what explains almost all of that? Mass immigration, overseeing, sending our jobs overseas, high taxes.
Women in the workplace.
Welfare.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things to go into that.
Hold on, here's your final take.
They're going to force us to have children, even if we can't afford them or we don't.
Force us to have children.
And even if we become poor, they're like, sorry.
Okay, here's the thing. Capitalism doesn't work if no one has any wealth to trade for things.
You could have just stopped. Capitalism doesn't work because capitalism isn't real.
Yeah. Sorry. A market-based economy doesn't work if people can't buy things. It falls apart. And also, abortion, well, that kind of keeps women in the workplace more and thus consuming more on, useless things.
Need of all kinds of services on their way to and fro from work. Yep. And then they're busy not raising the family.
Assuming they have one at all.
They have to vote.
My guess, early 20s at latest.
Yeah, she's fucking 20.
Yeah.
She doesn't know dick. And I know because I was fucking 20 once and I thought I knew goddamn.
Yeah.
And she doesn't know what she's talking about. It's not her fault. I mean, I'm not excusing it because someone should. I don't know.
Look, do we need to have people that have like 6 children families these days? No. We can easily get away with the average of 2 to 3 kid families.
I don't know, if you want to have an acre of like garden and animals and stuff, you probably need 3, 4 at least. If you want to get more acres, you need more kids. I mean, that's just kind of the nature of.
But the problem is, only so much land is arable.
To what?
Only so much land is arable, and when you have that when you have that generalized land, you actually can support you can only support a smaller population, not a larger one. So under that system, you would still need to live at that point. Your system that you're talking about, where basically everyone's self-sufficient, that means you're reverting to pre-industrial technology, guaranteed. Probably Iron Age at best.
That's not. I would not advocate for like everyone is self-sufficient completely.
Yeah. So, but moving along.
That's impossible.
Yeah.
Right. People are going to specialize, of course. You can't stop.
Here's a good one.
Yeah.
Playing a game of whack fuck here. Whack.
Whack.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Let's watch that a couple times real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a comp and also
playing a game of whack fuck here.
Whack fuck. Yeah.
Bro, I get it. The AR sometimes doesn't have the best
playing
cheek
a game
weld.
of whack fuck here.
No, come on, dude.
But there are better ways to do that. I get it. Sometimes the cheek weld's a little shit, but you work with it.
Playing a game of whack fuck here.
But, like, you're just smacking yourself.
Yeah.
Fucking retard.
Yeah. Also, there's something called a Picatinny riser, motherfucker.
Whack here. Whack.
Yeah.
Every time Andy's in uniform, it's fucking chef kiss.
Yep. We'll move it along to the next one. Any electricians are gonna love this one.
Oh my god. This is in Europe.
Has to be, yeah.
Yeah, that plug. It's totally either Ireland or UK. It's one of those.
You see the system fucking short for a moment.
Right. It's like I don't know what to do. Okay, let's do this. Let's just carry the cart. Fuck it.
God, yeah.
Yeah.
And now we have a good boy.
Oh, he's such a good boy.
Wait, hang on, stop! You don't want to do this. Listen, I've been a good boy. I've been a good boy, please. I've been such a good boy. Don't do.
He doesn't want a bath.
No, wait, hang on, stop! You don't want to do this. Listen, I've been a good boy. I've been a good boy, please. I've been such a good boy. Don't do.
Some dogs love bath, other dogs hate them.
Most dogs hate him, or at least they're like, what the fuck, the whole time during, and then once you let them go, dude, they get the zoomies and they fucking haul ass throughout the house. And you're like, no, with the towel, chase him with the towel.
Yeah.
Like, oh, come back.
Yeah. Well,
maybe it's a little Dutch boy says, Quest. He's trying to stick his finger in a dike. Is that what you're saying, Quest?
So next one. Meanwhile, we can't listen to much audio of this, but meanwhile in Japan.
Yeah. Animal fighting.
Right, with animal music.
Yep.
They were fast as lightning.
This is the weird shit that comes out of Japan given time.
Oh yeah, they're weird as fuck. They have some weird shit.
I wish I
like some kind of like stare down. When they talk for like 3 episodes while they circle each other. Yeah.
I wish I lived in a comfy seaside Japanese village town.
You would accept the anime if you got that in return?
Maybe if I was ethnically Japanese and fucking
but they
to
love
the culture.
They love the what do they call them? What's the slur for American? I forget.
Gaijin.
White-do pigo.
Yeah, gaijin.
Gaijin. It literally translates to foreigner.
Yeah, I was thinking of Milo, but that's Chinese.
Yeah.
They love the white-do pigo.
It depends on where you are and how much you've integrated. If you've integrated fairly well, you're generally accepted in the community.
Like if you're David-o, yeah, you're all right.
Yeah.
You wear your Evangelion shirt or whatever.
How do they feel about BWC?
I don't know, dude. I mean, the women probably think pretty highly of it, right? I mean,
well, also it's not just that, but apparently even
American husband, though.
Well, actually, the American husband's actually considered preferable compared to a lot of the Japanese husbands because those guys are fucking hyper traditional.
Well, hyper traditional, like
who's saying I'm not? Like, what are you talking about?
Even a hyper traditional American is less hyper traditional than the Japanese men that are dating.
All right, well, it's on. Yeah, that's a challenge. Let's do this.
Yeah. Well, so that's the thing, right? Exactly. So, like, your average weeb that moves to Japan is going to be just grateful that they have a Japanese waifu that they're like, okay, yeah, do whatever you want, go the fuck.
Well, it depends on how much of a weeb you're talking about. If they go full on otaku,
come home, I'll give a pillow with your face on it. I'll be fine. Like, I've 3 years, it'll be all right. Like,
If you go full on otaku, you're basically considered the same level as the herbivore men. You're just ignored. So, well.
Yeah.
Oh, here's another one. We got to mute it, but we can listen to it for a moment.
If this isn't us, I don't want it.
They're just grooving, man. Just grooving.
That was pretty loud AF.
Yep, I killed the other.
Very copyrighted.
Yep, so that's why I killed it after a few seconds.
That might be enough because like MJ's estate is pretty fucking serious.
Yep.
About their money. They're coming for it. So we'll see.
Yep.
We'll see if we get to live.
So is this going to be Katie Zed and Mr. Zed when they're retired?
I believe so, yeah.
Just grooving, you know?
Damn, he's killing it. Look at this dude.
Yeah.
This old ass dude is killing it.
He's got good dance moves for a white boy.
Hell yeah. Not bad for a little white boy. All right.
Yeah.
I see you, old man, with your little white shirt with the little dragon on it. I see you.
What is this anti-white slander talking about?
Look at this dude. Look at that.
Look at him.
Lie for a white guy. Of course he's a white guy.
That won't be you, Katie said? No. So who's the one that can't dance?
Yeah, probably her. Katie Z obviously can't dance, otherwise she'd be like, "This is totally us." Oh my god.
Yeah.
So like, clearly she cannot dance.
Yeah. So.
That's awesome. Yep. Fucking love it.
Oh, are you ready to see some cringe?
All right, so hang on. Let's get some context, man. You just moved right onto the video. Let's get some context. Who are these people? Why do we give a fuck what
these are Disney employees in the California HQ that staged a walkout while chanting "Say Gay" to protest the Florida anti-grooming bill. So stunning, so brave.
And brave, very much brave. Nobody gives a fuck if you say the word gay. Nobody cares. In fact, when I was in elementary school, there was no more popular word than the word gay. Just saying.
Yeah. Also, the Florida walkout was all of like one dude, and they're not even sure he was an employee there. He may have just been some dude that showed up.
Yeah,
this is all about these people living in California not wanting to move to Florida.
Yeah.
And you know what? Good.
Stay there.
They're going to anyway, against our wishes, but they're going to. Because they can't afford to live in California anymore. They're going to move here. They're going to. And they fucking hate it. That's why they're doing this.
That's exactly why they're doing this, because they're going to and they hate it. They hate that they're going to lose their fucking California privileges and have to come to Florida where we don't play that shit, get their cars vandalized and shit. They end up rent cucking around here somewhere. Motherfuckers.
Yep, so. And finally, a video that is a microcosm of the show. Just so everyone knows who is who, I'm the sleeping guy. John's the one in back, and Mijjt's apparently the driver.
Yeah, let's full screen that first.
Turn it down, dude.
I'm just trying to get some fucking sleep, and look at what these motherfuckers do to me.
And the fat guy's back is laughing.
I just want to get some fucking sleep after having to produce all these goddamn shows. And look at what these fuckers would do to me.
Could you imagine if, okay, dude, what we need to do, I know we don't have any followers or anything. What would be so much fun is if we had like a GoFundMe or like whatever the equivalent is that we use now. I know
Give, send, go, probably.
Yeah, we hate GoFundMe now, fine. Whatever the alternative is. And we just fucking travel. Like, we rent a big-ass SUV, not like a little-ass car. Like a big-ass SUV. We travel through the country, all three of us together. And then, like, we make these stupid-ass videos like this. Like, just make hilarious content fucking with each other throughout the trip. I think that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, you know.
Sure, we could come up with something.
When we're visiting, you know, an area that I might have some cop friends, I have them, you know, mess with John a little bit.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Oh my god, just be like, hey, just act like you're gonna arrest him, like, you know, some shit like that.
Yeah.
You know, be like, oh my god, like, do you have the rights? Like, I don't know, yeah. But I'm not saying shit. Fuck you. Like,
yeah. Well, yeah.
I didn't do nothing that we's not mine. We talking about.
So.
That'll be fun. Yeah, we should do that. Once we make our millions, boys, we'll do some shit like that. Oh, Katie Z.
Well, yeah. Give, send, go requires a government name on the front page. I'm sure John would handle that part.
Whoa, hang on. I don't know about all that. Oh, we might have to find something else. Like, because I don't know about all that. I guess GoFundMe did as well, but Robert did that. So yeah, he's the one who always doxed himself. He doxed himself on stream, so he was a fucking retard. But anyway, I mean, no hate towards Robert. I don't have any ill will towards him, but like, that was pretty fucking dumb.
Well, we're a little over time, so I guess Johnny, play us out.
Yes, boys. Those of you on the porch with us tonight, make sure, if you haven't already, to like the video. If you have not already, which I don't see anybody new, but that's okay. If anybody comes along who's new, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you check out all of our stuff down in our description. We've got our little Twitter, which I run on the daily. I post stuff and I say things. We've got a Discord server, so if you wanted to hear more of Mijjt B and kind of what he's about, and memes and shit posts and whatnot from the other two, those are all there a lot, and there's a good community there. Make sure you check that out. And then we've got to buy me a coffee if you want to give us money. Make sure you check out the different tier levels and whatnot and what they offer, or just do a one-time donation. Help us do this, this little trip that we just now came up with about 45 seconds ago. It'll be great fun.
It's a fantastic and well thought out plan.
It's extremely well thought out and well planned. It's we're ready to go. We just need the money. It's really all it is. Yeah. So we'll see you guys next week.
See y'all next week.
Yes.